Gather closer, little ones. Don't fear the shadows, fear the light that reveals too much. You ask why our soil is redder than the clay of the neighboring valleys. You ask why the birds never sing near the great hall. It wasn't always silent. Once, Oakhaven was a heartbeat of gold and green. But power is a thirsty beast. And King Malakor, he didn't just drink the wine of our harvest. He drank the life from our veins. Malakor wasn't born a monster. He was born a man with a small heart and a large ego. When he took the throne, he feared the people. And fear, my children, is the parent of cruelty. He believed that to rule was to break. To lead was to bleed. He started with the Tithe of Silence. Anyone who spoke against the rising taxes disappeared. First, it was the blacksmith, who dared to say the iron belonged to the plows, not the swords. Then, it was the midwife, who whispered that the king's greed was starving the newborns. The king's hands became stained, not by accident, but by choice. He wore white silk gloves to hide the splatters, but the scent of iron, the scent of fresh blood, followed him like a ghost. He built a wall around the palace, not to keep enemies out, but to muffle the screams of the innocent within. The turning point came during the year of the great drought. The village was parched. The earth cracked like a broken mirror. We begged for the granaries to be opened. Instead, Malakor threw a feast. A feast of madness. A young boy, no older than 10, sneaked into the palace gardens to pluck a single pomegranate. He was caught. Most kings would have given a lashing. Malakor, he gave an example. He didn't just punish the boy. He punished the village for failing to raise a loyal subject. That night, the king's guard marched through our streets. They didn't come for gold. They came for the thinkers, the poets, and the protesters. By dawn, the river that fed our fields ran thick and dark. The water was no longer life, it was a memory of murder. But here is the lesson, children. Listen well. A throne built on bones is never stable. The blood of the innocent doesn't just wash away, it soaks into the wood of the chair. It seeps into the mind of the man sitting on it. Malakor grew mad. He saw assassins in the curtains and poison in his water. He killed his own advisors. He killed his own king. He sat in a palace of gold, surrounded by the ghost of Oakhaven. He had everything, yet he had nothing. He had conquered the village, but he had lost his soul. The moral of power is this: you cannot plant seeds of pain and expect to harvest peace. Every drop of blood he spilled became a weight. By the end, he couldn't even lift his own head. The crown wasn't gold anymore, it was lead. How did it end? Not with a great battle. Not with a hero in shining armor. It ended with a whimper. One morning, the palace gate swung open. There were no guards. They had all fled, terrified of the madman they served. The villagers walked in. We didn't bring weapons. We brought shovels. We found Malakor on his throne, dead from the sheer weight of his own terror. His heart simply stopped beating because there was no love left to fuel it. We didn't burn the palace. We let the vines take it. We let the rain wash the stones for 100 years. So, when you see a leader who demands fear instead of respect, remember Malakor. Remember that a hand filled with blood can never hold the hand of a friend. True strength isn't found in how many you can kill, but in how many you can keep alive. Now, go to bed. The sun will rise tomorrow, and the earth is finally starting to turn green again.